tato mi je otac musliman, majka Srpkinja iz Bosne. Mi smo morali otići. Nismo mogli ostati dole, jer javno na radio su govorili kako baš djeca takvih brakova, miješanih, se moraju, mislim, ili protjerati ili jednostavno uništiti. I tako da nije bilo šanse da ostanemo, a inače život u gradu za to vrijeme rata je grozan bio.
And that's why that my mother was so nervous about when the Germans came in. I must go on to that. She was so nervous because the Germans weren't very nice with young girls. But what did it was a very tall German came into the kitchen, to our kitchen, with a big letter written in German that my poor mother, of course, couldn't understand the words, so we had to have it translated. He came into the room and gave us 12 hours to get out. That was it.
The main reason I left was the conflict, and we were not being able to kind of win either way. As children, we were a pawn between this great game of survivals. And my mother, and particularly my grandmother, thought, for us, the safe thing would be to make us leave.
But as soon as Hitler and they smeared also the Austrian sign all over the pavements and walls, and of course the Jews had to clear it up. And from my window I saw my father doing it, on his hands and knees, cleaning up. And I called my mother, she says, "Go away from the window. We don't want to be seen."
We were playing in the streets normally with my friends, and all of a sudden we heard the aeroplanes coming up, quite a number of them. And to us was something out of the ordinary. We looked up and all of a sudden they dropped bombs all over the place, although it was small village, as I mentioned. Then obviously we realized something was not right. And about a couple of hours later we learned from our neighbor, we learned the Germans attacked Poland without declaring war, they just attacked.
Brata, krivali smo se po podrumima, ali i tu su nas i našli, izvodili, raspitivali su nas ko smo, šta radimo i tako bili su. Bili smo poredani da nas streljaju. Izveli su, prvo su nas pitali imali tu Srba, pošto nas je bilo 11 u podrumu. I rekli smo da je ona, moja majka Srpkinja, i bio je još jedan komšija, Veljo, i on isto bio Srbin. Oni su rekli da ovi istupe, mama je rekla da neće, da će ostati s nama i tako. Nisu nas ubili, ali rekli su nam da ne smijemo se mrdati, da uđemo u kuću, da ne smije se zavesa mrdati, tako, grozno. Te noći nisam ne spavao i što sam spavao sam skakao u snu. Drugi dan smo morali ujutro da pobjegnemo, pošto smo vidjeli da nema ništa od toga i tako.
Because I had members of my family being killed, unfortunately, by the US forces, because we had a link to the Taliban. One of my uncle was a commander in the Taliban. So the Taliban was not very democratic, but they had people from almost every family in their ranks. That's why they were quite successful. People were not revolting against them because they had individuals from almost every family, particularly in the eastern and southern regions of Afghanistan. And so that causes problem when the government collapsed.
Well, we obviously heard various informations from the front, and about 2 weeks later, we have already heard the cannonade of the artillery. They were already in the middle of Poland, so we could have heard the front approaching, going towards us, towards east. And about 17th of September, we learned again very bad news that the Russians attacked Poland from the east, and it wasn't very long, couple of days. They already showed up. Russian troops have entered our village and all the surrounding villages.
I was practicing the piano in the morning. It was on a Friday. My mother came up and said, "Stop playing at once, put on your hat and coat and come with me." So we went round the corner, and every corner there was a stormtrooper arresting Jewish men.
Also, my father being a doctor, he would treat Afghan forces or Afghan militia forces as well as the Taliban when they got injured, because he saw it as his humanitarian duty, and that didn't go down well. And also we couldn't really resist because our family was under pressure from both sides. Like, people, if they have guns, you gotta follow their kind of orders or requests and instructions. So things became so bad that we were pursued by the Taliban to join them, to take revenge for our family members, but also to fight a holy war, so-called holy war, against the invaders and occupiers.